Well, my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new FM23 experiment. Now, earlier in the week, I did a 50 years into the future on the game, and I did say then that I would go another 50 years a bit later in the week, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. 100 years into the future, we're going to see where football might be. I won't be here anymore. Let's see if some of the teams we all know and love will be. Right, gang, so I'm really hoping there's going to be some surprises with this additional 50 years. We see last time that Amiens was the big surprise. You know, Champions League, they'd won multiple League R's as well, which I thought was really, really interesting. And I'm just hoping that we're going to see some moving and shaking, basically, where some of these leagues are concerned. And we're going to start at the Premier League. Now, I feel like already, just kind of looking at this, it almost just feels like not a lot has changed. I'm looking at the league table. I'm trying to see if there's any surprises in there. We've got Sunderland up in 8th. I guess that's a surprise. Burnley up in 7th is quite a surprise as well. But Newcastle, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, City, that's not surprising at all. Chelsea down here in 14th though. That is interesting. Manchester United outside the European places. Notts County are a Premier League team, and they've been a Premier League team for a while. Yeah, they've been all right. They've been going all right in the Premier League of Notts County. That's amazing. That is a turn up for the books. A really, really good turn up for the books as well. So they're in there. We've got QPR, Reading, Fulham. They've just been relegated though. But yeah, other than that, it feels very much the same, doesn't it? Right, let's take a look at the past winners then. So we obviously went to 2072, didn't we, before? Tottenham were the last winners of this competition when we looked in that first simulation. If you want to go and check that out, gang, it's linked above. Feel free, go check the first 50 years out. We take a good look at all the leagues that I've got loaded up, which are the 5 major leagues in the game. We take a look at the European competitions and all that, and we're basically going to do that again today, and with a few other things as well, I think, in today's video. But as we can see, Tottenham were that last winner in there. But then it's been shared between Chelsea and Newcastle for quite a few years. And then Spurs go on a little bit of a run with Newcastle in there. West Ham United win it again. They've won it 3 times more. Oh my God, West Ham have actually been very, very good. This is amazing to see. They finished 2nd quite a few times and 3rd as well. We've got Leeds in there. Man City managing to get one from nowhere. Southampton have won 1. We have a big old period of dominance though by Tottenham though here in the 2090s basically, all the way up to 2100. Then Southampton break it. Tottenham win it again. It stays in North London though, as Arsenal then win a couple. Tottenham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle. The 3 clubs basically then just share it for the rest of the time. They've really came in. But do you know what? I'm a bit gutted. That a small team from another league hasn't come through from nowhere and done it basically. I would love to do another 100-year simulation and see how different it is, to be honest with you, but it's one of those things. That's just the way the cookies crumbled this time. But it's really, really cool to see Newcastle up here. They ended up with 21 Premier League titles, which is amazing. I wonder how many West Ham ended up with in the end. 4 Premier Leagues, which is 4 more than we've got in real life, so I don't care. I will take it, my friends. Anyway, let's take a look at League R. Now, League R was the big surprise last time with Amiens coming through and winning a few. And it looks like the Amiens domination has continued. Oh my God, it's not even interesting anymore. It's borderline boring how good they've been. Lyon were the last winners from the first part of the experiment, and then it's been Amiens and Lyon kind of sharing it. PSG have kind of dived back in there. Amiens have just gone on a huge run of dominance here, absolutely huge, and then PSG just pop up every now and then. We get to 21-10, and then Lille win one, then Paris Saint-Germain, Lille win it again, and then again it's just shared between Paris Saint-Germain and Amiens. That is mental. It really, really is. Amiens, how many did they end up winning? 41 League 1. Jesus Christ, that is insane. They become a big superpower of the French league. Laval finishing third on quite a few occasions and second as well is pretty interesting though in its own right. But wow, Amiens absolutely dominating French football. And interesting to see as well that French football is second in the competition rated. We'll go to the Bundesliga. Please don't be boring. Please don't be boring. It was kind of shared between Gladbach and Bayern, weren't it, first time around? And it looks like that sort of continued, to be fair. Wolfsburg had one, didn't they? Dortmund have dived in there. Gladbach, Dortmund, Bayern. Yeah, it's just those. Hanover have managed to win one in 2104. At least there's a new club, because I thought it was just going to be those three clubs again. But no, Hanover have managed to win one. That's really cool. And then it's just been Dortmund and Bayern, basically back to normal. Yeah, that's pretty boring. I'm a bit disappointed in that. Syria. And oh my God, it looks like it's going to be the same. Wow. This is just not good. I was hoping this experiment was going to at least throw up some surprises, and so far it really hasn't. So we've got Inter Milan, Lazio. That's nice to see. Lazio picking up quite a few, actually. Napoli having a big period of dominance here, with Juve and Inter interjecting every now and then. Then we get Lazio again, and then we get Juve winning it 5 years in a row. Milan break the dominance. Hellas Verona. Well, there you go. There's a club that I didn't expect to see winning a Serie A title, finishing second and third as well. Second quite a few times. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And then Juve have just dominated it from the point that Hellas Verona won it. Napoli have popped up a few times, finishing second quite a lot. But yeah, that is incredible, to be fair. But Hellas Verona, what I should do is have a look at some of the teams that are potentially up here. Alessandria, who are they? Pro Patria. We've got Hellas Verona up there. Yeah, I probably should have done that with the Bundesliga as well, just to have a look, really. See if there's any clubs up here we might not expect. No, not really. St. Pauli have been up there before. Has of 1860 Munich. What about League 1? We've got Bastia, Orleans, Red Star. Yeah, not really. Not like the Premier League. And then we've got La Liga. And, oh, this does look interesting. Looks like potentially that Real Madrid and Barcelona dominance has been broken. Not early on, it wasn't. As you can see, Real Madrid winning quite a few in a row there. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. So basically all the way up to 2088, it was very much shared between those two clubs, with Real Madrid taking probably 80% of them. Atletico then dived in, but we do have Real Valladolid and Real Betis jumping on in here, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah, then it's them again, all the way up to it. Sevilla dive in and win one in 2101. Quite like Sevilla as a club in real life, I really do. They've won a few, actually, since the turn of the century. And then we've got Sevilla again. And then we've got Real Oviedo. Now, Spencer FC, for anyone that watches, a fellow YouTuber, is like one of the... Basically, there was a point where you could become like a founding member of that club when it was about to go bust and whatever. And I believe he owns some shares in Real Oviedo. That's his Spanish team. And they've won the league in 2110. So that's pretty cool. Atletico Madrid's in there as well. And then Real Valladolid. They've come out of nowhere. Celta Vigo finishing second. So yeah, they've kind of come out of nowhere. And they've won a couple in the last 4 years. So that is very, very interesting. And then just taking a look at the division, we've got Tenerife up here quite high. We've got Cadiz, we've got La Palmas, Real Zaragoza. I used to use Real Zaragoza a lot on the old Championship Manager games back in the day. They used to have Del Sandro at Real Zaragoza, and he was unbelievable. Yeah, used to love them. Right, well, that's kind of the leagues. I'm just going to dive back to the Premier League a minute, though. And I just want to take a look at the Championship and see kind of who's flirting around here. We've got Carlisle up in 4th in the Championship. Southend are still in here. AFC Wimbledon are still here. Aldershot Town all the way up in the Championship. We've got Cheltenham up there as well. Wow, it's a lot more change down here. It does have to be said. So Notts County obviously winning it there. I'm just seeing if there was any weird winners, just in case there might have been some strange clubs up in the Premier League, basically. But yeah, it doesn't look like there has been. Hampton and Richmond. I I nearly did a save with those a couple of years ago. All the way up in League One. No one else really. Because obviously we see a lot of clubs that like moved and shaked, didn't we, last time? And then if we take a look at League Two, I'm really looking for if there's any big clubs that have ended up like dropping down as well. Preston are all... excuse me. Oh my God. Preston are about to be relegated from the Football League. That's unbelievable. Aren't they in the Championship in real life? That is incredible. Right, we're going to take a look at the domestic cups now, and you're going to see Newcastle are the latest winners of the FA Cup. What's really interesting about this, though, is a Norwegian cup is ranked the number 1 domestic cup. It's been won by Bodø Glimt, quite a lot, to be fair. Molde, Rosenborg, Molde... excuse me, gang, I've had a really bad cough recently. Bodø Glimt really dominated it, but it's the number 1 domestic cup, and that's crazy. And we've got the Swiss one, which is number 3. The Greek one's number 4. We've got a Portuguese one in 5th. So yeah, all the cups I was going to look at, they're not even near the top. I'm going to have to really try hard to find these, but anyway, the FA Cup hasn't been won by anyone strange. I guess that's what we're really looking for, aren't we, with this experiment? And it doesn't look like it has been. We've got Villa, Newcastle, Southampton, and then quite a few of the big clubs. West Ham have won it quite a few times, which is good to see. Southampton are really kind of popping up quite a bit as well, I'm noticing. Leeds have won it. Look at West Ham. Jesus Christ. West Ham have had some dominance in this competition. Wow. Sunderland have popped in there a couple of times as well. Yeah, the thing is, as much as I'm saying, oh, it's boring because they're like Premier League clubs from the start, it's still sort of breaking the dominance of the big teams, isn't it? So that kind of side of it is interesting. This Swiss Cup has been won by quite a few different teams. We've got this Greek one that's kind of being won by all of the big clubs by the looks of things. This Portuguese one. Any teams there we can see? No, they're all the big clubs. Then we've got the Coupe de France, which we can take a look at. And as you can see, it's being won by the big clubs, but again, like we noticed last time, not dominated by those big clubs though. Amiens and PSG are kind of popping up in there winning them, but then we've got the likes of Saint Etienne, Rennes, Lille, we've got Nantes, Marseille, Lyon, Monaco, Lens, Laval have popped it up and won it. We did see they were doing quite well in the league, so yeah, I think that's nice because you kind of get to see, you know, other winners of the competition basically. And then in Germany, again, it's very much the same. You're seeing the big clubs there, you know, like your Dortmunds and your Bayerns and your Gladbaches, but then you're getting a Nuremberg and a Greuther Fürth and a Freiburg, a Wolfsburg. Is there any like really one out there one? Fortuna Dusseldorf, that's quite out there, isn't it? They won it in 2097. We've got Hertha, Hanover, Leipzig, Freiburg again, Hamburg. So yeah, kind of what you would expect. The Coppa Italia is now the 10th rated domestic cup. I wonder why they have fallen down so much. Inter dominated it, didn't they, for a long period of time here. This actually is more like the bigger clubs taking it seriously. We've got Roma in there popping up, and Milan, Lazio. We've got Bologna in 2104, Atalanta in 2105. Hellas Verona go back to back for a couple of years. So yeah, there is some interesting development, but it's just strange really that cups that you would consider to probably have very prestige reputation have dropped down an awful lot. We've got the Copa del Rey, which is now the 13th best domestic cup. Crazy. It's being won by the likes of the usual suspects, but with, again, a few others smattered in there, like Athletic Bilbao and Real Valladolid and Elche and Real Betis, Atletico Madrid. Sevilla won it 3 years in a row. Celta Vigo, Real Oviedo. I've clicked off by accident. Real Oviedo. We've got Real Valladolid a couple of years. Celta Vigo. So yeah, it's quite nice when you see the smaller clubs winning the competitions. But now let's take a look at the really prestigious ones, the European trophies, and see who has been winning them. And I always feel that they kind of follow suit with who's doing well in the league. So it's usually dominated by English clubs, to be fair. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the case again. So yeah, look, English clubs, German clubs, English clubs. I'm just looking for strange winners, to be fair. West Ham won it again. Unbelievable. Amiens have won another one. Got Gladbach winning it quite a lot. Napoli have won one. Leeds won 2 in a row. Leeds United. There you go. That's great to see. Southampton was one of the beaten finalists as well, so that's quite cool. I just really wanted to see some like really out there teams winning it, you know, from nations I didn't have loaded up. It's really been dominated by the nations I loaded. So yeah, maybe that's a thing with simulation. Maybe there's a way around it. You know, maybe just select one nation in future and see if that changes things. Lille 1-1, that's quite cool. Amiens again, but yeah, no real shocks there. If we take a look at the Europa League, this looks like it's been a lot more spaced out and a lot different than before. So we've got Wolfsburg, got Villa, Arsenal winning it. West Ham have won this again. West Ham have really enjoyed this competition. Fortuna Dusseldorf, Leeds, Nantes, Leicester. Yeah, lots of different clubs in here. Ron, Burnley, Burnley again, Hamburg, Laval, they beat Slavia Prague in the final. Oh, that's quite a cool little final, isn't it? We've got Hanover, West Ham again. Jesus Christ, West Ham have loved this. Salzburg, Laval won it again. Monaco, Sunderland won themselves a European title in 21-17, and it was followed up by Maribor, who beat Manchester City in the final. Holy cow, that's incredible. Who's this guy? He's considered one of their best players. We probably can't see their best players, but yeah, that's unbelievable. That is. Man City did go and win one though. Then Burnley, and they beat an Austrian team. I was going to say they're Belgium then for a minute, but Burnley won one as well. So there you go. That's quite interesting. That lots of different winners. And then if we take a look at the Conference League, I would expect this to kind of be very similar to that of the Europa League. To be fair, West Ham winning one of these again. Slavia Prague beat Cluj in the final. There you go. I love this competition because it just throws up some really irregular finals, doesn't it? Because it's just a chance for some of the smaller nations to get a chance, like Malmo making a final against Lille. We've got Ferencváros winning one from Hungary. There you go. That's pretty cool. They beat Sevilla in the final. Wow. Manchester United beat Torino in a final. Marseille they beat Gorica. I have never heard of this team. They're from Croatia. I've never heard of them. There you go. Incredible. We've got Utrecht from Holland beating Midtjylland in the final. Then Cluj were finalists 2 years in a row, beaten by Feyenoord and Fürth. Heerenveen got one, another Dutch team. St Gallen got their hands on one against Mo Ferivar, who we see last episode, doing quite well. Sochaux have won one. Leeds, Oviedo, Olympiakos, a Greek team. Ferencváros again getting their hands on one. You got Fiorentina winning one. LASK, Rosenborg, there we go, a Norwegian team winning themselves a Europa Conference League. Celta Vigo and Freiburg. But yeah, I think that's far more interesting, that one, because you just get so many unique winners. Now we're going to take a look at the Ballon d'Or. Obviously, we're like 100 years in the future. We know that all these players are going to be regens and whatnot, and the majority of them we can't really look at either. But you know, the ones we can look at are the most recent history. But as you can see, for the last 10 years, it's been dominated by someone called Victor Vara or Zara. Not quite sure. He's English. He must have dual nationality with a name like that, though. Let's have a little look, shall we? Yeah, Slovakian. He was actually capped 14 times for Slovakia, and then England come in and went, no, come and play for us. 156 caps, 134 goals, and yeah, he's 36 years of age now, so I would imagine these attributes are not at their peak, 37 even, but still, imagine having a 37-year-old striker with attributes like that. What a player he looks like. Jesus Christ. So he has, just from the league alone, 529 goals in 717 games played for Newcastle. No wonder they have been so successful. I'm wondering how successful England have been now, though. Having a look at that. that's where we're going to go now. Let's see how stuff like the World Cups have gone. Right, so here we are. And do you know what? England have been very successful. So the last one we would have seen would have been 2070 that Italy won against Netherlands. So since then, we've had France, Germany, Spain, England, Croatia, Wales win a World Cup. Wow. Wales have won a World Cup. It was noted on the last one that I didn't see it, but Scotland had finished third. Scotland have finished third again. So there you go. That's pretty cool to see that. But England have won it. Won a further... since last time they've won it a further 4 times. A further 4 times. Bloody hell. England so successful in the World Cup. It does have to be said in this simulation. So in this simulation, Spain have won it 1, 2, 3 times. Germany have won it 1, 2, 3, 4. England have won it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Oh my God. Italy have won it a couple of times. And then you've got the likes of Wales, Croatia, and Senegal as one-off winners, and Portugal as well. Portugal have been quite successful. They've reached the final on numerous occasions, just only managed to win it the once. But yeah, England have been very, very dominant. Very dominant. If we just click on England and have a look at some of their other players, yes, no wonder they've been very good with players like this. They are all very, very good, aren't they? Oh my God. Very good players. Sunderland have got this guy, 34-year-old centre-back. I'm not being funny, but if you've got your hair like that at 34, you need to have a good look in the mirror, sunshine. This guy's playing for Fortuna. So yeah, there you go. That's obviously why England have been very good. And then we look at the Euros, and England just haven't been as successful in the Euros as they have the World Cup. Which might seem strange, mightn't it? But I don't know. They just haven't managed to do it. England... 2076 they won one, but it's been dominated by Italy. It really has. Ireland, look at that, Ireland. So I consider Ireland like my second country because my granddad's Irish. So yeah, I always kind of look out for it, and I'm gutted they're not at the World Cup this year. So yeah, Ireland winning one in 2104, Wales making it to a final, Scotland made it to a final as well. So there you go, the home nation's doing quite well. But yeah, this has been dominated by Italy. It really, really has. And France as well. France have picked up quite a few in this sim, but no strange ones. I was expecting maybe a potential strange one. I've obviously been watching other people's sims, and theirs have been far more interesting than mine, if I'm being completely honest. And then, although a lot of the managers are going to be retired and probably in most cases dead by the time this simulation would be finished in real life, I just wondered how their achievements have held up over the 100-year span. Now, as we can see, there is a manager on top called Klaus Sorensen, who is going to be a regen. He just is, because I'm imagining that he's probably still in the game. Yeah, there you go. He's 72. He retired at... he was actually a player. Oh my God. So he had a pretty successful career by the looks of things. And then had a very good managerial career. So there you go. Wow. And then, yeah, he's number 1 now. He is the best manager ever. He won stuff with Tottenham, Fortuna and Amiens. So yeah, pretty good. But Julian Nagelsmann managed to stay second with all of his achievements at Bayern Munich. Pep managed to stay third. Carlo's still in 4th. Sir Alex, at this point though, 100 years later, he's now considered the 6th best manager, because Angel Parada, who is another regen, who was a player who had a career all over the place, a bit of a journeyman by the looks of things, yeah, he ended up becoming a pretty solid manager as well. So yeah, it's quite interesting, to be fair, at just how these guys have held up in history and just how good, you know, their legacies will be 100 years from now. And I thought how we would end the simulation is to just see who the major clubs are, who is potentially the best club in the world. As you can see, the number 1 ranked nation is that of England, and I don't think that's really any surprise with how successful they have been in international competitions. But as far as clubs are concerned, Dortmund at this period in time, 100 years later, are considered the best club in the world. So that is a big change from what is potentially, kind of noted as being the best club now. Juve are second, Amiens are fourth, Amiens are third, Newcastle fourth, Tottenham are fifth. We've got West Ham on the front page here though, Laval, Hanover, Hellas Verona. Where are the likes of Manchester City and Manchester United? Look, they're so far down. Some of these clubs really have kind of fallen from grace. Chelsea all the way down here. And there are some clubs that are in here that have completely taken over. And so there you have it, my friends. We are done and dusted with this 100-year simulation. There are going to be plenty more experiments on the channel, but if there's anything you would like to see in particular, feel free to comment below. I would love to run some of the ideas that you would love to see. I'm okay with the editor and I'm pretty good at doing this sort of thing, so no idea is too small or too big, so feel free to get in touch. If you're new around here though, please consider hitting that subscribe button, drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and as I've already said, get involved in the comment section below. But until next time, stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see ya real soon.